First and foremost, I would like to say that I'm not a doctor, I'm not a dietitian. I am only merely giving my experience about my time with ADF. So, once again, this is my experience. Okay, if you really want to know, because this video is long overdue, how to lose 10 to 20 pounds in a month, I can sit here and tell you. But you definitely have to pay attention, close attention, if you really want to know. Anyway, first things first. I'm Alicia, and like many of you, I don't know if this is you, but this quarantine kicked my butt. I'm talking about just being overwhelmed with school, with everything else, and I'm sitting there thinking, like, where did all of this weight come from? Just out of nowhere. So, I think at the end of May, I was like 189 pounds, and I didn't even realize how did I get here. How? So, I started researching, and I would like to give a kudos to Rachel Sharpe. I know that she's taken a hiatus off of her channel, and I also like to commend Laura Hirth. But they all talked about alternative fasting, how it benefited them, and if you have done intermittent fasting, then this is like the higher step if this is what you want to do and if you want results. So, me wanting the results, and you probably wanting the results too, I think you should definitely try it. Where did I begin? What is alternative fasting? Okay, there's so many different types of intermittent fasting. You have the 16-8, which I was doing. Then you have you can go up within the time. You have a 24 1, you have 18 4, whatever the time length is. You have OMAD, 1 meal a day. You have so many different types of methods. And then you have alternate day fasting, which I knew nothing about. Nothing. Eat, stop, eat. So, what is alternative fasting? Alternative fasting is basically running down, eat one day, don't eat the next. Okay? That is, as simply put, eat, consume food. Okay? That means consume food. You stop at 8 p.m. at night. You're going and you're fasting the whole next day until the next day when you break your fast at 12 noon. That is how I did it. That is how my counterparts did it, and I have to admit, it does its thing. Now, each intermittent fasting is different for each person. I did 16-8 like I suggested earlier, and honestly, that ish did not work for me. Okay? 16-8, it was just like, okay, I'm eating, then I'm just going to eat within the 8-hour window. Me doing that really did not assist me at all with weight loss. Now, with weight maintenance, yes. Weight loss, no. So I wanted to find something that can actually benefit me because I felt stalled. Like the weight was coming on, I did not feel like myself, and I just needed something that was going to help me minimize my cravings, allow me to feel great every single day. And I knew that if I applied it correctly, this was going to work. And it did. It did. Okay, it did. All right. I started June 1st. So June 1st, I said, you know what? I'm going to fast today. I just jumped right in. I just said, I'm going to fast today. And I wanted to take it as long as I could. And I did the whole day. I did the whole entire day. All I drank was water. And the headache that I received the first day, the headache that you receive, you will receive a headache. The headache that I received, I was just like, oh my God, I think I have a headache. I never get headaches, but I had a headache. And I was just like, well, if the headache is going to get me to my end goal, then I'll go ahead and take the headache. So the next day, I waited until noon. Now, Initially, did I work out when I was doing this? No, I did not work out as much when I first started doing this. Then I was just like, you know what? I'm going to just do it casually. I don't know how my body is going to respond. And therefore, I started doing more and more working out. So the next day at 12 noon, I broke my fast. I broke my fast, I think, with almond milk. I broke my fast with almond milk, and then I proceeded to eat normally. Now, I didn't think that this was going to work, but let me tell you, each day that I did alternative day fasting, the first week I lost 2 pounds. The next week I lost another 2 pounds. The next week I lost 1 pound. The next week I lost like 3 pounds. I'm gonna show you. I'll put a clip in there. But it was just consistent. Now, what was I eating? Wow. Day fasting. Now, I'm not the one to skip on dessert, and you may be that type of person too. I don't know, but I have to have dessert or something sweet at the end of my meal. I'm always like that. So a meal will consist of, in the morning I will break my fast with almond milk. Then after that, I love eggs. I will always cook 3 egg whites, 1 regular egg, and I will eat bacon. And I'll have like some type of grain with peanut butter. I love peanut butter. And that was my first meal. Then I would eat like a snack. My snack, I would usually eat chips. If I wasn't eating chips, then I was snacking on my little nuts. I had nuts with craisins and banana chips. That's my snack. I love that. That is my snack. Like chopped up fruit or rice cakes, but I didn't start with those till later on. Then for dinner, I will have my regular dinner. If I went out and got food, had ordered in because it's the quarantine. If I ordered in, then I will go ahead and eat whatever I wanted, and then I will still have dessert. My dessert consisted of cookies and a water ice. I'm not giving that up. I was not giving that up. Okay, everybody on here has their go-to foods that they're just not giving up. That was one of mine. I'm just not going to give that up. So, did it affect me? No, it did not affect me, because those calories, you have to think, those calories that you're eating in that one day is for 2 days. So your body is thriving off of that for the next day. Now, initially, after I think I started actually the 4th week, I started incorporating working out more, and I was just like, you know what, I'm going to start lifting weights, because I was feeling really good. I'm talking about, I wasn't feeling good before, but I was feeling really good, like really good. So, therefore, mentally, physically, I'm talking about on my fast days. My fast days, people will say, well, what are you doing on your fast days? And I'm just like, what do you mean, what am I doing on my fast days? I'm drinking water. But I implemented this one thing, which was sea moss. I was taking my sea moss on my fast days, and I would take like 2 or 3 scoops, because it gave me the vitamins, well, the minerals that I needed for my body. Remember, sea moss has 96 minerals. So I took it on my fasting days. And I'm talking about the clarity, the mental clarity, and then the fact that I was so productive. I actually was able to get stuff done, like pronto. And I love that feeling, and I didn't want that to go anywhere. I chewed gum, and it did not affect any of my results as I could think of. But normally, and I will always drink my tea. I will always have tea at night, and inside my tea, I will always put, since we're in quarantine, I will always have my medicinal tea, and I will always put a tablespoon of, I think a teaspoon of elderberry juice, and I will always make sure that I'm relieving myself in the morning, always. But all in all, this actually worked. It worked. So now, is it going to work long term? Now, I think I'm in like sort of a maintenance phase, because now I'm lifting more. Now, do I still do it? Sometimes I do fasting, but sometimes I do a modified fast. I have IBS, so I don't like my stomach to feel bloated. My stomach has not felt bloated since I started fasting. So that in itself is a plus. I lost over 20 pounds. I'm currently at 167. I weighed myself this morning, 167.8. And I will show it to you. You can see it for yourself. But if you're on the fence and if you feel as if you're sluggish, you don't feel like yourself, and you feel as though that you need some type of change and you want to know exactly what you can do and what will actually help you, alternate day fasting. And on my fasting days, I will tell you this. Fasting days, sometimes it's a little bit like, what am I going to do? I'm not eating. I'm not doing. Let me tell you something. My life went on. Everybody else was eating. I had my water. I had my sea moss. I made sure I had my gum. I was busy. Okay? Nothing was going to break my fast. And it actually gave me discipline about my food choices. Like, now that I wasn't eating like so often, one, is saved on groceries, and two, my preference of choices is just like, wait a minute, I'm eating today. I want to make sure that I select quality foods that I'm eating. My favorite dish to eat is a seafood broil. And guess what? I eat it. I I enjoyed the fact that I went through this, and I like the fact that I know that it's working. So do I have an end goal? I don't know. Like, my end goal right now, currently, I'm working out at least 5 days out the week. Um, I'm lifting weights to make sure that my body is just not losing weight, but it has some type of tone to it, which I kind of like. If you're on the fence, just try it. There's so many different ways about intermittent fasting, and ADF was the one I chose. And is it long term? For me, with the benefits of productivity and clarity, yes, it will probably be more or less a long term benefit to my lifestyle. So, with that said, I will put the people that actually helped me in my description box below. You'll see it somewhere down there. Down there. It's been a while since I did one of these videos. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. I will also be giving more and more content. I did take a hiatus. I did for a while, but I'm back. So therefore, this right here was laying on me, and I had to make sure that you were able to gain some knowledge from this topic. All right, so like, comment, and definitely subscribe.